Can we take it now? Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'll call to order the regularly scheduled committee meeting for the Village of Midlothian, Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024 at 7 p.m. Roll call, please. Clerk Marshall.
Trustee Burbett?
Here.
Trustee Caveney?
Here.
Trustee Crowley?
Here.
Trustee Hilly?
Here.
Trustee Johnson?
Here.
Trustee Killily?
Here.
Mayor LaRue?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, at this time, I'll open the floor to public comment. Is there any public comment tonight? Happy New Year. Then I will close the floor to public comment and move on to trustee business. Trustee Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I have one item tonight. Bonnie Nyland in the front office has requested to carry over 4 days to this year. Her anniversary is January 22nd. She's asking if she can take the 4 days between first of the year and March 31st, and I wanted to know if anybody had a problem with that.
Is that something we actually have to approve by vote next week? It's her anniversary is January.
22nd.
We got time to, I don't remember what it read.
I know in the past, other department heads and other people have asked for time, and we've said yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever voted on it. But if you-
I've put it on mine. I know I've put it on my agenda.
I think the issue is that it's a village policy, and
That's what I'm asking.
in order
I can't remember.
to waive that village policy, I think it is appropriate for the village board to do it. Otherwise,
So can I put it on the consent agenda next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we said 4 days.
Yes,
Okay. Excellent.
thank you.
Anything else tonight?
No, I don't, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Burbett.
I have nothing this evening, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Hilly.
I have nothing tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Caveney.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to remind all of our volunteers who so kindly decorated our rain garden that we need to have the ornaments taken down this week so that Public Works can take care of the trees and get them chipped up and taken care of. Next item, I received an email from MWRD today confirming the mailing address and the recipient of our reimbursement check for the MWRD floodplain property buyout, and I confirmed it should go to Clerk Moskal along with other documentation. So Clerk Moskal, keep your eye open for the mail for that check to come through.
Are all the tenants out? Do you know?
That I don't know. The one tenant, Dr. Lisa, is out. I'll have to check with State Farm. I know that he was still looking for something. He was doing his best to get out by the end of the year. I'll follow up with him tomorrow.
Thank you.
I received a note from the VFW Auxiliary asking me to share this information with the village. They are hosting a spaghetti dinner on Saturday, January 13th, which is the Saturday of the holiday Martin Luther King weekend, and it will be at the VFW from 3 to 6. So everybody, please let's support our VFW and the auxiliary groups there. Last thing that is on the agenda tonight is discussion for revising the zoning code with regards to group homes. So I put some pretty detailed information here on board docs. I don't know if anybody has any questions or concerns with regards to the proposal.
I don't really have any questions or concerns. I just maybe out of clarity or whatever. What prompted your recommendations to change the numbers? What brought this on?
Well, this goes back to when we were involved with Aunt Martha's and the discussion with Aunt Martha's. It was brought up back then, and at the time, our former superintendent, Nick Meinert, and Attorney Valadez at that time recommended that we update the zoning, and this just got lost in the shuffle. So I went back and I was going through notes, and I came across this, and so I went back and looked at some of my old emails. I went back and looked at our zoning code. I went back and looked at the 2018 International Building Code, which is what the village has adopted and is following. And the reason for changing the numbers in the definition of community residence large and small is that they coincide and they align with the IBC definition.
Perfect.
So, I mean, our village zoning code was adopted, what, in 2010 or 2011? Right, is that right?
Yes.
Around, okay, so the village code was written in 2011, but we adopted the 2018 IBC in 2019. So when we were going through that process, that, you know, the IBC, our zoning code doesn't align with the IBC, and we need to make it match so that we have, so that there's consistency. The other issue is on the zoning table. These group homes are permitted in some areas, but there's special use in others. And the recommendation from the former superintendent and from our village attorney was that the village requires special use in all cases.
All right, perfect. I mean, that's kind of what I went. So to be clear, these recommended changes to our ordinance makes us more in line with the International Building Code.
Correct.
All right, perfect.
Yes, and I would just, to Trustee Caveney's point, the litigation that we engaged in over the couple of years was evolved from this very issue, which was that our code did not match up with how we were implementing the restrictions. I don't want to get into the whole
Correct.
2 years of litigation. Suffice to say that that was the sole issue that the federal court hung their hat on in their intent to make sure that at the beginning of COVID that these children had someplace to go. And so he hung his hat on that very small issue. So, yes, I completely concur with Trustee Caveney. We need to align it to what was intended and to what is the norm within the code. We need to hang our hat on the building codes as opposed to zoning matters as to where we want stuff. That wasn't a good hook to hang it on.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? All right, we just want to put this on the agenda for approval next week. You got more work to do with it.
I think.
No, we cannot do that. I wanted to bring it up to the board so that you were aware that I was going to be proposing these changes. I am required, well, the village is required to go before the zoning board to get the zoning board's approval and buy-in to these recommended changes. Then the ordinance will go to the board for approval.
When do you think they'll meet again, Zoning Board of Appeals?
Well, I don't know that I have, given the date today, I don't know that I have time to get this, all the documentation for this pulled together for February zoning board, so they'll meet in March. We'll do it in March.
Okay.
If we can't do it in February.
And the zoning attorney, Mr. Murphy, and I will need to do a little bit of research to make sure that these changes do not run afoul of any new federal law, which has been a trend. The federal courts have had a trend to strike down special use applications for group homes. These organizations have been very successful in litigating the special use designation. So we'll have to research that to make sure that what we write is something we can enforce without risk.
And you'll have the research done before February,
Yes, yeah,
or sometime in February.
yes. It won't take long.
All right, perfect. Anything else tonight, Trustee Caveney?
No, sir, that's all.
All right, awesome. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Trustee Coley?
Thank you, Mayor. I just did not update the board on the December meeting for the South Suburban Land Bank and Development Authority, so I just want to do that. The land bank is dramatically improving their finances. They had a good financial year, much more sales, almost doubled their sales over the previous year. They're improving structurally, where they're putting more people, greater expertise into the positions that they need. Their audits are almost caught up, almost just about in the same category as we are right now. They should have caught up on 22 in December. They are working hand in glove with the Cook County Land Bank. In fact, they concluded an agreement where the Cook County Land Bank will give them properties to market and sell, and that the Cook County Land Bank owns. and they will get 50% of the proceeds from that sale. So it's going to be very lucrative for them. Gives them more money to improve their structure. They are going to not just sell homes that need rehabbing, but they are going to try and rehab those homes themselves and then market them. That will give them more revenue and give the land bank and the towns they're in a greater control of what's happening in the housing stock of their own town. Very impressed by them. They're the Southland Development Authority and the land bank work together very well, and I think they're going to they're going to be positioned to really make some dramatic improvements in the Southland. That being said, I think the board should think about how do we want to work with the land bank. We've had some transactions this year, one sale and one pending sale of a commercial property, and nothing to do with residential. In fact, the land bank is positioning themselves more towards the commercial part of the specter than residential. They think they can do more dramatic improvements that way. But I think the board should think about, is there anything special we want to do, ask the land bank to help us with as far as our housing stock, or should we try to do it on our own as we did with one foreclosed and dilapidated property that we sold and is being rehabbed expeditiously on Lawndale? And it seems like that worked out very well. As far as the commercial properties, I did receive from a couple trustees some comments of concern about the process of how the land bank does sell the properties and vet the properties to the Village of Midlothian. There are some towns that do this themselves, and it has good pluses and minuses on that process also. But I think, I'm a big believer in taking control of our own destiny here. And if we want the land bank to do something special for us, or if we don't think the land bank has the capabilities of doing things that we want, that we would like done, both on the residential and the commercial sector, then I think we should discuss that as a board and find out what we would like done and take control of our own destiny. And also with the potential of TIFs, is that something that we want to let the land bank know about? Is there a policy there? And would that help us attract businesses that we would like in the village? But I think we need to discuss this, not just let the land bank do what has always been done. I think they're conscientious and they're more detailed in what they do, and I don't know if we have to discuss this tonight. I want the board to think about it, but I do think that on those two things, what's always been done is not necessarily what has to be done going forward.
My opinion, I think, I like the idea of leaving the residential properties up to us. Trustee Caveney, how do you think the process went with 15207?
I think the process went okay. I think probably we need to come up with a better vetting process once we get to the point where we are marketing a property. I mean, you saw with the Lawndale property, we had, 10 or 12 offers, was it? We had quite a few offers that came in. So perhaps we can take a page out of the land bank's book and have anybody who's interested in buying the property, have them fill out one of those purchase applications that the land bank uses.
Attorney Valdez?
So that we can better vet, the buyers to ensure that they have the funds to buy the property and then work expeditiously to get it rehabbed.
cost-wise.
So, but I agree, I would prefer to leave the commercial properties with the land bank, because it's a little bit more time intensive, and we could handle the residential, because quite frankly, we don't have the staff for it. We would have to take on another staff person at the village hall to help with that, because I don't have the time for it, and the building department has got their hands full with all the work that they have right now.
All right.
Well, I-
But I don't think it's a bad idea.
I also think, like, with regard to the TIF area, you know, and having people in place to discuss it, we have our economic development person who is handling, who's, you know, created the, kind of the TIF format that we're trying to follow and get implemented. I know I've referred a few people to him. I'm actually next, we're gonna discuss one of the recommendations that the mayor and trustee Cavaney and I have for really our first TIF out of the new area. So I think, you know, if people are looking for incentives, I think we certainly should refer them to Steve. You know, his email is the same that we have, he has a village email, so they can be referred to him to discuss. And I know he also, you know, gives them information about the enterprise zone and things like that. You know, I think that process has worked pretty well. So maybe, you know, if there's somebody interested in a TIF area and they're interested in incentives, they could also be directed to him to talk to him about it and, you know, get his feeler, and then he updates, you know, the rest of us.
Right.
When's your next meeting with them?
I'm sorry?
When is your next meeting with the,
Land bank?
yeah?
I don't know. I think it's February.
I would just say that the outcome was actually a very good one with regard to the Lawndale property. As far as the land bank's contribution, it must be kept in mind that the land bank has statutory authority to extinguish taxes, which the village does not have in an expedited manner. So in other words, the land bank handed over that property to us without any taxes to it, which saved us a lot of time and effort. From the point that we received the property to the point that we sold it, which will be several months, now we are going to have to go forward with extinguishing those taxes, because that was part of the contract with the buyer, which is appropriate. You know,
Right.
They shouldn't have to pay for taxes before they got the property. But that process is long and tedious, as trustee Cavaney knows. And so that is a significant advantage to get residential properties from the land bank, because it comes to us with the taxes wiped out. As a municipality, we can wipe out the taxes,
Right.
but I think
But you
the
have to
clerk
have,
knows how
you have
long
to
it
have
takes.
somebody to do that,
Yep,
the
yeah,
process.
it takes a
But
very
there-
long time.
But there is a new policy with the land bank, because they don't want to just be a legal processor. They also, if you, going forward, if we do this through the land bank, they want a percentage of the proceeds from the property sale.
That's.
And I don't, I
Yeah.
think, I think it's 20, I think it's 20%. I don't think that's high, you know, but because we don't have the staff, we'd have to find another law firm
Right.
basically to do it.
Exactly.
So I don't know if that's, you know, but I do think that, I think the Economic Development Committee has some hopes for the downtown, what type of business they want to put in there. I don't know if that can, I don't know how easy that can happen with the land bank process, or maybe we need more information from the land bank before we approve the sale of the property, because we do approve the sale of the property before it's sold. Now, other towns have taken control by basically buying the property and taking a mortgage out on the property, holding it until they got the right people in that they wanted.
And there's also the option for the village, you know, again, we never would have been able to close on the Lawndale property that quickly had it
Right.
not been for the fact
Right.
that the taxes were extinguished on it.
Right.
However, there is the option for the village to, part of the purchase price, part of the contract would be to pay off the back taxes on it.
Yes.
And that obviously would be a case-by-case analysis as to whether that would work for the village. If it's a $5,000 back taxes, you know, it's worth it for the village to pay them off in the contract.
Right.
However, if it's a $20,000, $30,000, now we have to be careful as to what the cost that would be for the village to do that.
Right, and not to extinguish the taxes, just go forward.
Right.
But I mean, and I understand that, you know, as far as the rental properties, I don't know if all the rental properties are up and coming, but I mean, overall, if we could look at some of the rental properties, maybe, take some of those also that are not active right now and get those sold. Midlothian is a good market. It's a good real estate market. I don't know of anybody, there's very few towns in the land bank that have a residential market like we do. The developers want us and properties sell quickly. That's not the case in most other towns.
It was a great success with regard to the Lawndale property, because
Right.
usually you don't have extinguished taxes, and you usually don't have a purchase price that pays for all the expenses and all
Right.
the liens on the property
Right.
that the village has an interest in.
Right.
So it was a great outcome for the village.
Right. So a recommendation from as far as, a process, and if we want to talk to the land bank about anything, or we want something more from the land bank, then they're certainly open to us talking to them about it.
Perfect.
And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Crowley.
Thank you, sir. The only thing I have tonight is to let the board know we are in the process of waiting for an ordinance from our TIF attorney, Kathleen Orr. We did have one of the businesses that, one of the companies that bought a business here that is rehabbing it to open. They have provided information that they're putting a substantial amount of money into the building, and came across some EPA requirements that are significant. They're around $75,000 in their costs that were unexpected. I think I can speak for the mayor and for Trustee Caveney and myself that it's our recommendation that we provide them some assistance up to 10%, which would be no more than $7,500 once they complete the work and they complete all of the other upgrades that they have submitted that they will be completing. Like I said, Attorney Orr is working on that ordinance. Nick, she suggested only an ordinance for this versus an agreement because it's a one-time small payout. And so if you're okay with that, I told her I would, let her know tonight, but I didn't think you'd have a problem if she would
No,
recommend.
not at all. She's
Okay.
one of the top TIF attorneys in Cook County in the state of Illinois.
So that was her recommendation. She said she'll have it to us by Monday to put on the agenda. If everybody could take a look at it and, and see if you have any questions, you can certainly ask. But again, they're anticipating they're putting about $450,000 in total into the property, and we're recommending up to $7,500 in a refund for the EPA inspector that they have to put in. So if anybody has any questions, I'll try to get that on the agenda as soon as I get it. Certainly email me, call the mayor, call Trustee Caveney. And that's all I had this evening, sir.
Thank you. Attorney Valdez.
Nothing.
Well, speaking of TIF, I guess I was going to wait till next week, but you brought it up before, at the beginning of the meeting. Just let everyone know out there that the Midlothian Public Library has completed their very large construction project, and they spent $563,943, and back in, I believe it was last year sometime, we agreed to share some TIF money with them, 33% of the project over a 4-year period. So they gave us a formal notice today, and we'll be working to pay off that agreement over the next 4 years with them. Also, Dylan's Food Drive, I believe he's going to extend it to the end of this week, like 2 more days.
It ended on Saturday, but he's still accepting food. The food box will be out there and you can still drop off.
All right. 147th place?
3947.
No. 3939, 147th place.
Okay, thank you.
Right over here.
Yes.
Yeah, right over there.
Right.
2 more days. Please help him out. It was a little light this year, I understand.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So many people are in need this year. So that's all I have tonight. Clerk Moscow?
Just a few quick updates on the Historical Museum. They are announcing some expanded hours. They will be open the first, second, and third Saturdays of each month from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on their behalf, I'd like to extend some thanks to Public Works. They're continuing to do a number of projects and hitting up their to-do list in the building. I had a chance to stop there last week, and it looks great. I know they replaced a number of the old light fixtures with LEDs. They fixed some doors that had some leaky thresholds and things like that, and it's really looking great. There's also a new sign on 147th Street directing folks to the museum, and they are doing as much as they can and hoping to be open more. Always looking for more volunteers. So thank you to Public Works and to the Historical Society Committee for all they're doing. That is all I have
And
tonight,
I
sir.
you and I can concur with the changing out of the can lights.
Yes.
They were very old, ancient, antiquated, couldn't even buy them again. They were very inefficient
Yeah.
and extremely hot.
Hot. Yeah.
Very hot, so, thank you, and thank you to them. I'm sure Mom's watching. So. I think my granddaughter's watching. Nova, if you're watching, hi, Happy New Year. That's it?
That is all I have tonight, sir.
Sure.
I don't think we said happy birthday to trustee Johnson either.
Shoot. No.
Oh, we need to sing.
Mute. I'm kidding. Well, here we go. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
birthday, dear Kathy. Happy birthday to you. When was the official birthday?
December 30th. I got the tax right. Maybe I got the tax right.
Okay, anything else? All right, seeing as no further business coming before the board, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.